Now in its 10th season, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, celebrating junior bowling and elevating junior bowlers. Today, episode 196, the 2025 Kansas City Open September Point Tournament. 5 players have made it to the stepladder finals, but only one can walk away as the Division III champion. Let's meet the 5 finalists. Qualifying 5th is Tim Schimfossil, one of 4 first-timers in the field today. He'll face the number 4 qualifier, Garrett Ogle of Barryton, Kansas. The winner of that match will face the 3 seed, Joshua Schonifer, the only player in our field who's bowled on Prodigy before. That winner will face the 2 seed, Sean McCone of Junction City, Kansas. And that winner will bowl for the title against Caleb Montague of Gardner, Kansas. He's our tournament leader today. One of these 5 young fellas will be crowned as the KCO Division III champion and will sign the 10th anniversary black coveted trophy pin today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Welcome back to Olathe Lanes East in Olathe, Kansas. We've returned this time to bring you the Division III finals at the 2025 Kansas City Open September Point Tournament. Division III was our largest division at today's tournament, with 39 contestants in the field. In all, 5 divisions held competitions. On our last episode, you saw the finals in Division I, and we summarized how the stepladder played out in Division II. Today, we'll bring you the action in Division III, and we'll recap how the stepladders play out in Divisions 4 and 5. As always, all the KCO participants bowled 6 games of qualifying, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, before the field was cut to the top 5 for the TV finals. Here's a look at how the qualifying round shook out in Division III. Of course, you already know who made the top 5. There in 6th place is Gage Patrick, our alternate. Grace Ryder, our winner in May, holding down the 14th spot. Maya Nathan in 18th. She's the sister of Eli Nathan. You saw him shoot .298 at the KCO Invitational. Multiple-time winner Luke Gramling in 25th. There's Adam Wilson in 36th. Didn't have the day he had hoped for, but I know we'll see him again on Prodigy. Here's how the Division III stepladder shapes up with our 4 and 5 seeds about to do battle, and seeds 3, 2, and 1 down on the practice pairs, staying loose, getting ready for whoever survives this opening match. But right now, it's time to light the fuse on Match 1, as our number 5 qualifier, Tim Schimfossil of Olathe, Kansas, is about to take on our number 4 qualifier and the only lefty in our field today, Garrett Ogle of Barryton, Kansas. Barryton, just a little ways south of Topeka. Tim Schimfossil bowls a youth league here at Olathe Lanes East, so one might assume he has a slight advantage against Garrett, who bowls at Gage Bowl in Topeka. Garrett Ogle having a brief discussion with KCO board member Brent Whitesell about who's going to start. Garrett had the option. He's the higher qualifier. He is elected to lead off. And he crosses over and gets a strike on the Brooklyn side. Not exactly the way you draw it up, but a strike is a strike is a strike. And when you're looking for a positive note to start on, you take it any way you can get it. And now Tim Schimfossil up on the right lane. And he gets a Brooklyn to go. Both players with light hits on the Brooklyn side, both with strikes. Not exactly picture perfect, but I'm sure neither one of them is interested in giving it back. You see both players with their handicap indicated on the score sheet. Garrett getting 9, Tim getting 8. So just a 1-pin differential. Oh, look out. Man, he almost put that one in the moat. Sent it a little too wide as that one got away from him, and now he has left a doozy of a spare. The 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Guarantee you this is one they don't practice. Here's how to make it. You got to hit the 1 pin back into the 9. Have the ball get the 2 and the 8. Send the 2 over into the 7. Good luck. And he gets it. Nice shot. They don't leave this one often enough to have much of a track record with it, but I guarantee you they probably don't make it more than 2 or 3 times out of 10. And Garrett hooks high once again. Climbs a little bit beyond the pocket. This time he doesn't get to the Brooklyn side and cuts through and leaves the 2, 4, 7, 8. Another challenging spare. Lots of ways to miss this. You want to put the ball on the 2 and the 4. Have the ball drive through and get the 8. The 4 will get the 7. But he chops the 2 off the 4. And that is an open frame. So you see that we have added the handicap into their scores in the first frame, so you don't have to keep track of it the rest of the way. It's just factored in. And now Garrett will move back to the friendly confines of the left lane. There you go. That's more like what he's looking for. That finds the light pocket, and he shakes him up. Watch the head pin, the one in front. He's going to just tick it, send it to the right wall, and it comes back and knocks out about 3 or 4 pins. Well, Tim sent that one a little wide once again. Doesn't quite get back. And he broke down the bucket. He had the 2, 4, 5, 8 standing for a moment. And now the decidedly easier 5, 8 spare remains. Just throw this about like a strike. Maybe move your feet a board or 2 to the left. Just like that. Easy peasy. Tim Schimfossil wants to be a psychologist when he grows up. And I'll tell you what, if studying psychology is fascinating to you, you might make a really good match play bowler, because there is a lot of psychology that goes into the playing of match play in bowling. Well, I tell you what, he just planted that one, sending a message to Garrett that Tim came to play. Here it is again. There's the ball right under his head at the bottom of the swing. Pretty good knee bend. Like to see that. Little hop at the end. I'm not sure I love that, but... And I think that's caused from the fact that he's got his spine angle tilted so far forward. Moves his center of gravity out in front of him. There's another light shaker for Garrett. And he just cut Tim's lead down to 1 pin with that one. Here it is again. This will look a lot like the one he got in the previous frame. Over about 17 at the arrows, out to about 7 at the break point, and that head pin goes to the right wall and knocks the right side of the rack out. Now that time he got a little bit more of a solid pocket hit and was not rewarded as the 4-pin goes flying around the 7. And he leaves the ring in the 7-pin. He'll move over to the right side of the approach and go cross lane at the 7-pin. Oh, but he hooks by it. All right. Didn't expect that. Normally you'd see a player use a spare ball that doesn't hook for that corner pin spare, but I don't know. Maybe Garrett doesn't have one. Oh boy. Tim was looking at the dreaded 7-10 for just an instant. The 7 goes out, and now he will shoot the 10-pin. This is the right-hander's equivalent to the 7 that Garrett just had. And Tim shows us how it's made. You just go straight at it. So a 14-pin lead halfway through the match for Tim Schimfossel. And he rips the rack in the 6th. Watch this. This will not get quite to the solid pocket. This is about the half pocket, I'd say. And the 5-pin just saws over into the 7. Left side of the rack had no chance. Oh boy, Garrett threw a pretty good ball. He just hooked a little too much at the end, and he was nearly facing a real problem, the 6-8, but the 6 goes out. And now he's left with a pretty routine spare, the 8. No problem. Just keep making your spares and you'll keep yourself in the match. The players to our right, that's Division 5. The players to our left, that's Division 4. And we will fill you in on how their step ladders play out when we get to the end of the show, after we visit with our eventual winner. Another light hit, another light shaker for Garrett. He sends this ball far enough out to the left that it has such a good entry angle. He can hit light and expect it to carry this. Look at that thing. It's all the way out to about 5 at its widest point, and it just tears the rack apart from that angle. Well, Tim trying to create the same kind of angle, just didn't quite get enough on it, and the ball kind of just stopped climbing, leaves the 10. Oh, and this time he hooks by the 10, and that's going to tighten this match. His 14-pin lead is now down to just 2 with 3 frames left. Spares, spares, spares. There's another light shaker. He gets the wall shot this time. He won't complain. Watch this 5-step approach. He's a planter, not a slider. Hits light. Head pin comes off the wall, gets the 4, 5, and 7. All right, Garrett with a chance to take the lead if he can strike here. And man, that one was knee-deep in the pocket. Best shot he's thrown this match. Saved it for just the right moment. Watch this. Over the third arrow, out to about 6, maybe 5. And that one would have knocked down 6-pounders. He likes it in that light pocket area. He's been living there. Of all the strikes he's had this match, really only one of them has been solid in the pocket. The rest have all been this variety. Light shaker. It'll just tickle the head pin, and the right side of the rack just dances off the deck. Tim Schimpfossil putting a double up on the board just to let Garrett know he's not going away. Both players have doubles up heading into the 10th frame now, so this is anybody's match. Big loft over about 13 at the arrows, out to about 6. Good entry angle, solid in the hole. Now, Tim has a chance to take the lead with a strike. But it doesn't quite get the 10 to go. So he will need to make this spare and then hope that Garrett makes a mistake in the 10th frame. All right, he covers the 10, so he's done what he can do. Now just fill up the count. Get as good a count as you can. Honestly, count is probably not going to come into play here. But you get all you can. That's a 202 finish. Garrett Ogle needs a mark. And almost any kind of count should do it. But a spare or a strike to win the match. Oh boy, he was flirting with trouble. That 6-8 was up for an instant, but the 8 goes out. And now he's got a very simple spare, the 6-pin. But don't get careless now. Easy conversion. So now he needs 2 pins. You gotta like his chances. Stay behind the foul line. Keep this ball somewhere in the center of the lane, and you'll be moving on, Mr. Ogle. There it is. He fills it up. That is a 211 to 202 victory. The two players exchange a handshake. And now we're on to match 2. Garrett Ogle to face our number 3 qualifier, Josh Schonifer. A close match that ultimately came down to the final ball before Garrett Ogle completed his come-from-behind win over Tim Schimpfossil. Looking back on it now, that missed 10 pin in the 7th frame by Tim was really the difference in the match. We talk about it a lot, but as much emphasis as there is on strikes, it's usually spares that determine the outcome of most close matches, especially in handicap divisions. But in this case, Garrett Ogle had a couple of open frames of his own, but he made up for it with a double in the early frames and a turkey in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to tip the balance back his way. So it's Garrett Ogle who takes the win in match 1, and now he'll challenge our number 3 qualifier, Joshua Schonifer of Chanute, Kansas. Joshua appeared on Prodigy once before, almost 3 years ago. His game has improved considerably since then, and I look forward to seeing him in action. And Garrett Ogle looks smooth and confident, so this ought to be a good match. You've heard of gym rats. Well, Josh Schonifer is a bit of a bowling alley rat. And that's because his Uncle Randy owns the bowling alley, C&H Lanes, in Chanute, Kansas. So he gets to practice a lot. And that practice is paying off. Solid strike to start. Take another look at it. 5-step approach. Traditional one-handed game. Swing about shoulder high over the 3rd arrow. Out to about 6. That looks like the prescription right there for success. Now Garrett Ogle up on the right lane. And he crosses over. Leaves an interesting cluster, the 4, 7, 8. You don't see this too often. Once again, I think he's going to hook at this. I don't believe he has a spare ball, and that's a problem. That's twice now that he's hooked past his spare over in the left corner of the lane. I think an investment at the pro shop for a spare ball, a plastic or urethane spare ball that doesn't hook, might be a good idea. Either that or learn to flatten out his wrist, come straight up the back of it, or even throw a backup ball. We've seen Caden White do that before, and very effectively. Or just do that and don't leave spares. Well, if only it were that easy. I like this guy's game, though. Ball right under his head at release. Usually in pretty good balance. He fell off a little bit that time, but Garrett Ogle has a lot of promise. All right, Joshua Schonifer looking for a double. But unfortunately, that 10-pin says, no, I'm not playing. Josh actually was 15 years old at the time we taped this episode of Prodigy, and he turned 16 between that time and the time we released this show. So by the time you're watching it, he's 16 now. And he has a strike and a spare to start the match. Well, when your Uncle Randy owns the bowling center in town and you're Josh Schonifer, you start bowling at the age of 4. And you're in your first league when you're 6. And that's been Josh's story. Gave that one a pretty good rip at the bottom. But that 5 pin just did not get over to the 7. He is not a high rev guy. So he depends on accuracy and angle. And he makes short work of that 7 pin. Well, Garrett Ogle is 15. He turned 16 in December. He just started bowling when he was 14, so he's only been at it for a year, maybe, year and a half. I'd say somebody's been coaching him up. Pretty good shot. Just didn't quite snap out the corner pin. But unfortunately, this is the corner pin that has been giving him fits. The one over in the left corner. See if he can cover this one. There you go. A spare in the 3rd for Garrett Ogle. He's getting 9 pins in handicap. Joshua's getting none. That just indicates that Josh's average bumps up against the top end of the Division III average span. In other words, Division III is kids with averages of 160 to 179. Josh must have an average of right at 179 to have a 0 handicap. Really good shot here by Garrett. That's how it's done. All right, Josh working on a spare. Looked like he pulled that one, but it held in the oil. And he gives a wave to his adoring fans looking in all across America. Straight back, straight through, kind of drops it on the inside. That ball pretty much right under his head. Could get a little closer to his ankle, though. And he would actually gain a little leverage if he could do that. But can't argue with the results on that one. Oh, man. You can't throw it any better than that. And all he can do is offer a sarcastic smile. He knew this was a good shot. Chops the 5 straight back off the 8. The one true tap in bowling, the right-hander's stone 8 or the stone 9 for a lefty. Easy spare, though. And he has no problem with it, as expected. All right. Garrett Ogle says he got started bowling because his grandfather bowled, and they went bowling one Christmas, and he just decided he liked it. And he's obviously shown a knack for it. That double gives him the lead halfway through the match. Watch it again. Over about 17 or 18 at the arrows, gets it out to about 7. Down they go. Another strike here would be big. But he comes in a little thin. Breaks down the bucket, leaves just the 3-5. Now this spare should prove a little less difficult for him with the hook, although gotta watch the chop. But he takes care of it nicely and maintains a 6-pin lead as Josh Schonifer gets set to throw it in the 6th. He says his favorite pro bowlers are E.J. Tackett and Kyle Troop. And he says he wants to be a professional athlete someday. Doesn't specify the sport. Yeah, that one just got a little too wide on him. He doesn't have the rev rate to bring it back from that far to the right. And so he's left with a tricky little spare, the 2-4-8. It's easier than if the 5 were standing, but still can't sleep on it. Just hit the solid front of the 2-pin or a little to the right of it. You should be okay. Well, we have a balk. Little distraction, so now he's going to let the Division 5 player to his right go. I don't think they were the one that distracted him. There you go. That's how you take care of the 2-4-8. And Brent Whitesell moves in. Apparently there was a scoring error in the system. They will correct it. The score you see on your screen is correct. We don't rely on the in-house scoring system to drive our scoring. We do it ourselves, the old-fashioned way. All right, Josh trailing by 9. Needs to get something going here. Oh, man. Hit in that swish zone thinking it might mix him up. And he almost had the 7-10. Thankfully, the 7 went out, but goodness gracious. All right, be careful with this. Look out. Well, you can't get careless with single pin spares. Just when you think this shouldn't be a problem, take your eye off the ball. So now all of a sudden Garrett Ogle has a 21-pin lead. And his shot drifts high. He almost had the 6-7-10. But the split crumbles apart. And he's left with an easy spare, just the 6-pin. Well, don't hurt him now. That looked like a no muss, no fuss, no stress spare, and it just kind of held there in the middle of the lane and didn't hook until the very end, and it just barely got a piece of the 6-pin. But hey, once that pin is down, you just forget about it and move on. That was a spare, and that's all that matters. But now he'll challenge himself once again with the 7-pin. The single pin spare that has been a bit of a problem child. Oh, look out. He turned around before that ball was 2/3 of the way down the lane. He knew he'd pulled it. And that was not even close. So he gives the gift right back to Josh Schoenhofer. And once again, this match is within a mark. Just 8 pins separating these two. Garrett Ogle, you need a spare ball, my friend. The 2-5 for Josh. Now, he doesn't hook it so much, so you think, okay, he's a little less likely to chop this than if he did hook it more. But you still got to be careful with it, especially since he shoots it from the right side of the lane. And that's why, right there. Chops the 2 off the 5, and right after Garrett had let him right back in the match, Josh says, "No, I don't want it. You take it." But still 2 frames left, and clearly, if these last couple of frames have proven nothing else, it's that anything can happen. He really got a hold of that one. Made sure it got back. Here's Josh's footwork. 5-step approach, little crossover step. Nice slide. Look at how perpendicular to the foul line his slide foot is. That is ideal. It's obvious this guy spends a lot of his time in the bowling alley. And this guy probably does too, even if he doesn't have a bowling alley in the family. But all right, so he takes a 19-pin lead into the 10th frame. And that's got to make him feel pretty good. Over about 16 at the arrows. Gets that one out to about 4. 10 back. All right. Oh, look at this. Garrett can't put it away. He's left a split. And in so doing, if he were to open here, he'd give Josh a huge opportunity to steal this match. Too much of the 2-pin. And that's an open frame in the 10th. And now, all of a sudden, Josh Schoenhofer trails by just 7. He has a strike up in the 9th. He can win this match with a strike on this ball. If he doesn't strike here, Garrett wins. But if he strikes, he'll have a chance to put it away on the fill ball. But he goes through the nose. And the match goes to Garrett Ogle. Wow. These two really went back and forth. I hate to see someone lose it like this. I'd rather see somebody step up and deliver in the clutch and win it. But both of them had a chance. And in the end, it's Garrett Ogle who's going to take match 2. So I know Joshua is not pleased with the way that thing played out. But he has shown improvement since the last time we saw him on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. I guess that was close to 3 years ago, so he's probably done some growing since then. But In any case, it is Garrett Ogle who's going to meet our number 2 seed, Sean McCone, when we return. Another close match that came down to the final frame. This time, Joshua Schonifer needed that first strike in the 10th, but he couldn't quite deliver this time. I gotta say, I'm impressed with the progress he's made with his game since the last time we saw him on Prodigy. Hopefully, we'll see him again. And Garrett Ogle kind of dodged a bullet when he opened in the 10th frame, but still managed to get past Joshua. 3 opens is not usually the recipe for winning, but Garrett Ogle has averted disaster thus far, and if he can just clean up a couple of mistakes, he's already halfway to the championship match. But he first has to get past his next opponent, our 2 seed, Sean McCone of Junction City, Kansas. In recent years, Sean's been competing with the likes of Landon Ziegenhurt and Jesse Holtkamp, both from Junction City, but both now aged out of youth bowling. So Sean is now Junction City's #1 bowling export. So it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain the high standard that his predecessors set. Seth McCone, being the higher qualifier, had the option, and it appears he has elected to let Garrett start the match. Well, that one didn't quite get up. This time he doesn't carry the light shaker, and the 10-pin remains. Garrett says his favorite pro bowler is Packy Hanrahan. We get a lot of that here in the Kansas City area. Packy being from the Wichita area. And Garrett covers the 10-pin with ease. And now he will sit and wait as we get our first look at Sean McCone. This young man, 16 years old. Started bowling at the age of 10. Kind of overthrew that one a little bit, pulled it just a bit through the nose, leaves the 3-6-10. Sean says he wants to be a photographer when he grows up. I think that's the first time we've had a kid say that. Covers the spare easily. Sean, one of the better players on his high school team out in Junction City. Bowls at JC Bowl. There's a wall shot for his first strike. And you see we've added his 3 pins of handicap into his score. Spare strike would be 20. 3 more makes it 23 in the first. Nice swing over about 16 at the arrows, out to about 8. Mixes them up. Garrett crossing over. Of course, he does not generate the same ball speed that Sean does, so he's got to make sure that thing gets out to the left side of the lane, or it's going to come crossing over like that one did. Watch this. That's over about 16, out to about 7, but look at that thing make a right turn at the end. That is ball speed there, or a lack of it. Now that one, I don't know that he threw it all that much harder. He just didn't get it as far to the left, out where the lane has less oil. Watch this. He keeps this not so far to the left. See, that thing only gets out to about 11 at the break point. There's more oil in the center of the lane, so it's not going to hook as much. And that's a double, and all of a sudden, Garrett has a 16-pin lead. Sean once again overthrowing it just a little bit. He's got to be careful with his ball speed. He has a tendency to throw it a little too hard sometimes, and it doesn't give the ball a chance to react. You got to let the ball do some of the work for you. That one does not get back, and he's left with the bucket. The 2, 4, 5, 8. Put the ball on the 2 and the 5. Let the ball drive through and get the 8. The 2 will get the 4. But he goes right through the middle of them and nearly chops it, but gets them all. Take them however you can get them. Well, Sean says that his mom is responsible for getting him started bowling. He didn't really elaborate on that. I don't know if it's that she took him and enrolled him in a youth league or what, but we're glad he's bowling now. Finds the pocket with that one, but wraps the 6 around the 10, the ringing 10. The bowler's nemesis. Kids you see on our left, there's Allison Deere. That is Division 4 over there. And to our right, where you see Henry Montague, that's Division 5. We'll tell you how their step ladder played out. Sean with the backup ball for the 10-pin. I like the method. The execution was lacking. He goes wide with it into the gutter. And it's an open frame, and that widens Garrett Ogle's lead. And Garrett finds the pocket once again. But he's shaking his head. What do I have to do to kick out that 7-pin? This is the spare he's had some trouble with today. But he takes care of it this time. Says his best moment in bowling is when he bowled his high game at Crown Lanes. That's the bowling alley with the dinosaur out front in Leavenworth, Kansas, where we will be in February. That high game that he bowled was a 261. His high series, a 686. Oh dear. He didn't bowl it throwing shots like that. What kind of a crazy split is this? The 2, 6, 7, 10. Shoot it like this. Put the ball between the 2 and the 7. The ball will get both pins. You want to throw that 2-pin over into the 6 and hope it gets the 10 as well. Well, he had the right idea, just got too much of the 2-pin. So that is not only an open frame, but he short counts with just 7 out. So the lead passes to Sean McCone. Sean with a 299 on his resume and a high series of 752. Once again, a little too hard with the ball on the right lane. He hasn't gotten it up to the pocket on the right lane yet. And once again, he's left with a challenging cluster. The 2-4-5-8. The bucket. He made it before, but he was awfully close to chopping the 2 off the 5. Not this time, though. That was perfectly done. Nice shot. But he still trails by 10. Here it is again. This time the ball's going to get the 2 and the 5. Drive through and get the 8 while the 2 gets the 4. Just like you draw it up. Pulled it. Pulled it well left of target. Lucky he got 9. Hit the Brooklyn pocket and left just the 5 pin. That could have been most anything. Easy spare, though. Probably the easiest spare there is. Well, I tell you what, he didn't make it with a lot of extra miss area, but he did make it. And now Sean just needs to settle down as Garrett needs to get back on the horse. Pretty good shot there. Nice commercial pass at the ball. Just a pinch high leaves the 6. He shouldn't have any problem at all with this. Easy. Easy peasy. Well, Garrett says he wants to be a sports trainer or go into sports medicine when he grows up. Good for him. Helping others. Well, that light shaker almost got them all. But the 10 pin stubbornly refuses to cooperate. Get up. Well, you can't be missing those. That is a very routine spare for a left-hander. But he just handed the lead to Sean, who will now get up on the right lane in the 7th frame, working on a spare as he finds himself out in front by a pin. And he crosses over for a strike. Well, others have gotten crossovers today, so why not him? He finally got the ball up to the head pin on the right lane. And then some. Really seems like he's just trying to throw it a little harder than he needs to on the right lane. And again on the left lane, he does the same thing, and this time the ball snaps on the back end, goes through the nose, and he nearly had a split. But the 7 went out, and he got just the 6 pin. He'll need to make it to maintain his 1-pin lead. And he goes with a straight ball or a slight backup and backs it up a little too much and passes by the 6 pin. Another easy spare missed. We're seeing a little too many of those for my liking this game. Boy, you got to cover those, buddy. And look at Garrett. Little less ball speed. Got that one a little wider. It found the dry part of the lane a little sooner. And so it started hooking sooner. And when that happens, you're going to miss to the right if you're a left-hander. But again, a spare he should convert. And he does. So Garrett Ogle, who's won the first 2 matches today, leads by 11 heading into the 9th frame of the 3rd match. Every match so far has been close. And once again, he just doesn't have enough speed to get that ball to hold the line. Breaks sharply on the back end. And he's got another one of these spares that's pretty easy to chop if you throw a hook at it, as he does. This is where being able to throw a straight ball or even a backup would come in really handy. But he covers it perfectly and maintains an 8-pin lead, as Sean McCone will now get up in the 9th frame and will finish the match. His part of the match anyway. If he strikes in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and then gets sufficient count in the 12th, Sean could shut out Garrett. But if he doesn't strike in the 9th, 10th, or 11th, Garrett will still have a chance to win the match. Hold it again. He's just trying to throw it too hard on that right lane, I'm telling you. That one goes Brooklyn. He gets 9. So the best he can do if he makes this spare and strike out in the 10th would be 188. Garrett would need to double to beat him. All right, he makes the 5-pin. But he will trail by 8 heading into the 10th frame. This match could still go either way. You never know. He's been all around the pocket. This would be a real good time to find the pocket. Well, he does with the first ball in the 10th. Watch this one again. This was a little more under control. Didn't seem to try to overthrow it. Over about 16 at the arrows, out to about 10 at the break point. He's keeping it a little straighter, not going as wide. But now this is the shot of the match for Sean. He needs a strike here to take the lead. Oh, and look at this. Not exactly the way you draw it up. But he gets the 6, 9, 10 to crumble and disappear. Watch this. He pulled this one so much. Right through the heart of him. And the 3-pin comes off the wall and takes out the 6, 9, 10. And now he has a 2-pin lead. If he can get 8, he'll force Garrett to double. There you go. So, the assignment is pretty straightforward, Garrett. You need a strike in the 10th, another one in the 11th, and then you'll need 2 pins on the fill ball to win by 1. But first things first, Garrett must strike on this ball or Sean wins. It's through the nose again. And so Sean McCone takes the 3rd match, stopping Garrett's march to the top after he had won the first 2 matches. He will shoot at the 4-7. It's really academic now. Covers it. But if he strikes on the fill ball, all he can get is 184. Sean is already in with a $187. So another close match came down to the last few balls. Garrett's got to be pretty pleased with himself today. He bowled well. Just made a couple of mistakes here in this 3rd match. It's going to be 182 to Sean's 187. So it's Sean McCone who's going to be bowling for the title today against our tournament leader, Caleb Montague, when we return.
Now, from the Prodigy Bowlers Tour newsroom, with reports from across the universe, around the world, throughout the nation, and up your alley, this is Prodigy Striking News.
This just into the Prodigy Bowlers Tour newsroom, as we just received word that one of our original Prodigy stars, Nolan Kemp, Bowlin' Nolan as he became known, has just graduated college. He'd been taking classes online, and we received a short blurb via text message this afternoon from him saying, "I just graduated college," with this picture of him with his mom and dad. Congratulations to a dear friend, Nolan Kemp. But as big as that news is, I have to tell you, I'm kind of burying the lead. As this past weekend, while this episode of Prodigy was in post-production, reigning PBAA Player of the Year and Prodigy alum Caden White just won his first PBA regional title at the PBA Sunset Lanes Midwest Open at Sunset Lanes in Marlboro, Missouri, in the suburbs of St. Louis. Here's the final ranking of the top 8 players who made the round-robin match play finals. As you can see, Prodigy star Caden White came out on top. This marks the first time a Prodigy alum has won a professional bowling tournament. Annalise O'Brien came close a couple of times at PWBA events, but this marks the first time a Prodigy alum has actually finished in first place at a pro bowling tournament, and certainly at a PBA tournament. Coming on the heels of him being named the Prodigy Player of the Year and then winning the Junior Gold National Championship in Green Bay, this just puts a bow around a remarkable 2025 for Caden White, who now looks forward to his first year in collegiate bowling. We applaud you, Caden, and wish you nothing but continued success. I know you're going to keep making us proud. Three matches, 3 photo finishes so far. Again, in this last match, Garrett Ogle had ball in hand with a chance to double and win, but put the ball through the nose and got no break. It was a heck of a run for Garrett today, as he won the first 2 stepladder matches to finish 3rd. But it's Sean McCone who delivered the clutch strikes in the 10th frame and now finds himself bowling for the title against our tournament leader, Caleb Montague. Caleb has practically grown up in our youth league here at Olathe Lanes East, so even though this may be an unfamiliar situation for him, he should feel pretty comfortable bowling in his home house. Caleb actually has 1 KCO win to his credit, but that was a tournament where his opponent won the final match but was disqualified, handing the title to Caleb. He'd like to actually win one on the strength of his own performance. And you know what? Today might just be the day. But not if he throws many shots like that. Caleb lets that one get away from him. And it doesn't quite get back, and he's going to start his match with the washout, the 1-2, 4-10. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin. Drive the 1 into the 10. The ball will get the 2 and the 4. Good try. Just a little too much of the head pin. And as you see, we've added his 13 pins of handicap into the 9 he got in the first frame, so that gives him 22 to start. And now we won't have to worry about Caleb's handicap the rest of the way. We'll do the same thing with Sean and his 3 pins of handicap as he is set to go on the right lane. Ooh, gotta like that one. Maybe not if you're Caleb, but Sean's got to like that one. This time he didn't seem to throw it as hard as he could. He just gave it a nice snap, gave it plenty of room, and that thing was measured perfectly. So a solid strike to start. Sean says his best moment in bowling was making it to state for his high school. Tell you what, if he gets to the end of this match and wins it, this might be his best moment in bowling. But that wall shot just wouldn't quite take out the 7. Gives it room out to the right so that it will hook back into the 7, and he covers it easily. Bit of an age discrepancy between these two. Sean is 16, Caleb just 13. I've been coaching here at Olathe Lanes East for, I guess, going on 3 years. And so I met Caleb when he was 10. He has made a lot of progress since. As a matter of fact, I don't believe he had started bowling in these KCOs when I first met him, but now he's kind of a regular participant. Well, that one just got out to the dry a little too soon on the lane. And so he needs to move a little farther left on the lane to play the oil line correctly. But he covers the spare, and when you're not striking, that's what you got to do to keep yourself in the match. It's just a 2-pin match at the moment. Sean with the lead. But Caleb is right there with him. Wow. That time he did give it the extra speed at the bottom, but he gave it enough room to the right that it held pocket, and man, that was like dynamite blowing up at the pins. Watch this. The ball under his head or a little left of that. That is ideal. And watch this. Kapow. A little too wide with that one. And with the extra speed, it wasn't able to get back. A little less ball speed, and that one hooks back and finds the pocket. But he leaves just the 2. This should be routine. And he makes it look as easy as it is. All right, Caleb. Make a little adjustment on the lane. Move to the left some. Now he's still out to the right. But this time he lays it down out on the dry part of the lane, and the ball rolls out. Didn't have any energy at the end to drive through, and he's left himself an extremely difficult split. The 4, 5, 7, you got to put the ball between the 4 and the 5, but it needs to favor the 4 slightly so that you can get the 7. If you hit him right in the middle, you'll miss the 7. Oh, that was close. That was real close. Good effort, but another open frame, and now Caleb trails by 16. Now, if he threw a little more ball speed, he could play that line that he's playing. Let's see if he moves a little left. Well, he almost got that one back. He missed right, so it was in the dry part of the lane, and it kind of rolled out again on him. When I say rolled out, the ball's supposed to skid at first, then start to hook, and then roll. But if it rolls out, it uses up its energy before it gets to the pins and doesn't keep climbing as it's going through the pins. It just deflects. And that's what happened. But he covers the spare. That's important. Keeps him in the match. And as long as Sean McCone doesn't run off a string of strikes here, Caleb will be able to hang with him. Just needs to get lined up, throw a few strikes of his own. Look at this. Sean is dialed in on the right lane. He had problems with it in that last match. He couldn't get the ball up to the pocket. Now, he can't seem to miss the pocket on the right lane. He is wired on this lane. Out to about 6 at the break point, and like a truck going through there. Double here would be big. He gets the double, extends his lead to 26, and even gets a little applause from his opponent, Caleb Montague. Watch this. Tell you what, this is a pretty textbook game right here. He's in good balance, doesn't fall off balance at the line. His head's pretty steady through release. What's not to like? There you go. That's the line you're looking for, Caleb. And that, too, was like a freight train going through the pins. No deflection. Watch this. Looks like he moved left just a little bit just to keep that ball just inside the oil line. That gets out to about 7 at the break point. And watch that thing. Just no deflection. It finishes behind the 8 and 9. That is perfect. Now, he could use 2 or 3 more of those right now. But instead, this one drifts high. And he's left with a dicey little spare, the 3-6-10. Moves to the left for it. Don't you dare chop. Well, Caleb, if it's any consolation, my ball doesn't listen to me either. That's an open frame, and Sean McCone has opened up a 40-pin lead as he gets up in the 7th, working on a double. Another strike here would just about lock it up, you'd think. And he tips out the 10. Just the little love tap to get it to go. Watch this again. Tell you what, this guy does not look like a Division III player to me. I know they base it on average, but I tell you what, if he keeps bowling like this, he's not going to be Division III for long at the KCO. Well, that one hooked a little early on him. Goes a little high, leaves the 4. Easy spare, though. Caleb can get to 203 if he strikes out. Sean is going at a 222 pace. So it's not over, but Caleb has no margin for error. He's pretty much got to strike out and hope Sean has an out-of-body experience. Another ball through the nose. I tell you what, I've worked with Caleb a little bit, not enough to really call myself his coach, but one of the things he still needs to learn is lane play. And when the lanes start hooking on him like this, he doesn't really know how to adjust. Oh, goodness gracious. Nearly another chop, and you can see it on his face. He's not a happy camper. It didn't go his way this match, but it's a learning experience. If he'll just move left a little bit, play a little more toward the center of the lane, let that ball stay in the oil longer, it won't hook early. See, that was a slight adjustment that he made there, just enough, and he planted it in the pocket. That's what he's looking for. This is a good ball here. It almost crept a little high, but still found the pocket. Maybe too little too late, though. Sean McCone is going to get a victory lap here, I think. Oh, boy. There's another solid one. I don't believe he's missed the right lane this game. He couldn't find the pocket his first match on the right lane. And now he's hit it every ball. Watch this. And I mean, they haven't been shakers or luck. They've just been solid in the hole every time. Tell you what, watch him climb the chart from Division III, maybe Division II next month. He'll be Division I before you know it. Trips the 4. He gets applause from Caleb, who knows he's beat, as Sean has shut him out with that ball. Here it is, the shutout ball. It's going to creep just a little high, but that 2-pin's going to sneak behind the 4 and trip it out. He's got 7 strikes so far out of the first 10. And that's how many he's going to end up with this match. But he's going to finish in the 230s. Not bad. Not bad at all. 231 with a conversion. First time he's ever found himself in this position at a KCO. And Caleb, don't tuck your tail between your legs. You bowled really well to get to the number 1 position. You should be proud of yourself. And this young man has shown so much improvement in just the last couple of years that I've been watching him in our youth league here at Olathe Lanes East, that he's just going to keep improving. As he gets a little bigger, he'll be able to generate a little more ball speed, and along the way, he'll pick up a little more knowledge about how to adjust on the lanes as the lanes change. He'll take one of these and call it a day. It's a second-place finish for Caleb Montague. Sean McCone has claimed the Division III championship, and we'll get him to sign the coveted trophy pin right after this. Even though he may not have bowled the game he hoped for in the championship match, Caleb Montague had a heck of a day. He finished qualifying as the 1 seed, but 4 open frames in the final match pretty much did him in. But even without the opens, he still would have needed a heck of a game to overcome the avalanche of strikes that Sean McCone dropped on him. Gotta figure the next time we see Sean McCone, he probably won't be in Division III again, but it's performances like this that help you climb up and establish yourself. One thing's certain, next time he won't be able to sneak up on anybody. They'll see him coming. But with his 231 to 161 championship match victory, Sean McCone claims the Division III title, and that means he gets to sign the new black coveted trophy pin. As we turn the page on a new season of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, we're introduced to a player we've never seen on Prodigy before, Sean McCone. But boy, Prodigy viewers will know who you are now. Tell us a little about you.
I'm 16, from Junction City, Kansas, and I've been bowling for about since I was 10, and I just bowled for a high school team. I play golf.
And you play golf. Well, there's plenty of golf to be played in Junction City, Kansas, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, you've been bowling since you were 10.
Mm-hmm.
Did you bowl a KCO last year?
Yeah, but I didn't do so good because I was injured.
Well, you did pretty good today. You qualified in the number, 2 position for the step ladder, and You knocked off Garrett, who was on a roll. He looked unbeatable, and then you just said, nope, this is my day.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking out there?
Just like make my 10 pins. I missed like 6 or 7 of them, but like I had to pull through and just knew that I could win the tournament, so I did that.
You sure did. Congratulations. And so here's the deal. By winning a KCO tournament, you qualified for the Prodigy Tournament of Champions, which will be here in June. More about that in a few months once we get a little closer. But today, you get the privilege of signing the coveted trophy pin. The winner of the Prodigy TOC in June will win a nice scholarship prize and the pin. So put your name on it somewhere. And today's date, it's 9/7/2025. And we've got a new champion on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Sean McCone from Junction City, Kansas, steps into the winner's circle. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As I mentioned during the show, the players to our left were the Division IV finalists. Here's how their step ladder played out. In the opening match, the 4-seed Adrienne Rockstead defeated Brody Plaskey 200-185. Then in match 2, it was the number 3 qualifier, Alexander Cruz, who put an end to Adrienne Rockstead's day, 175-145. Then in match 3, the 2-seed Allison Deer shut down Alexander Cruz 210-141. And in the championship match, Allison Deer polished off her day with an upset over the tournament leader Hunter Bradley 212-199. And as I mentioned earlier, the players bowling in the periphery to our right were the Division V finalists. Here's how their stepladder shook out. In match 1, the number 5 qualifier, Henry Montague, the younger brother of Caleb Montague, defeated the 4-seed Jackson Allen 193-163. Then in match 2, Henry Montague won again in a low-scoring match, 136-124 over the 3-seed Jordan Reber. Then in match 3, Henry Montague continued his winning ways, eking out a nail-biter over the number 2 qualifier, Elise Gramlich, 152-148. And in the championship match, the Battle of the Henrys, the tournament leader, Henry Spooner, the younger brother of Grant Spooner, who you saw on the Division I show from this same tournament, fended off Henry Montague 162-155 to claim top honors. And of course, you saw Sean McCone take the title in Division III today. On our last episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you saw Eli Clinklin fire a 279 in the championship match to defeat the runner-up, Rhett Ryman. And we told you about how Benjamin Rodert won all 4 stepladder matches in Division II to claim that crown. So congratulations to all 5 of our division winners at this month's Kansas City Open, the September Point Tournament. Henry Spooner in Division 5, Allison Deer in Division 4, Sean McCone in Division 3, Benjamin Rodert in Division 2, and of course, Eli Clinklin in Division 1. All 5 of these champions are now eligible to bowl in the season-ending Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions for a nice scholarship prize and the prize they've all got their eyes on, the coveted trophy pin. Our next stop is Gladstone Bowl in Gladstone, Missouri, where Andrew Coleman took top honors in Division I last year, and we showed the Division III finals where Liliana Gentlemart claimed the title. If you'd like to bowl in the Kansas City Open, maybe qualify to appear on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, visit the KCO website at www.kansascityopen.com. There you'll find the schedule, the rules, entry forms, and everything else you need to bowl in the Kansas City Open. If you enjoyed the show, leave a thumbs up on the video, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to receive a notification whenever we post new content on the channel. And be sure to leave a comment. All these things help us grow the channel. To support the work that goes into producing Prodigy Bowlers Tour, become a Prodigy patron. Go to www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour and follow the instructions to become a patron. For just $5 a month, you get early access to all the full-length episodes of Prodigy. And for $10 a month, you not only get that early access, but you also get your name in the show's closing credits as an executive producer. You know, just like the big shots in Hollywood do. And remember, to keep up with all things Prodigy, join our Facebook group. From any page on Facebook, type Prodigy Bowlers Tour into the search bar and hit enter. That'll take you to the page where you can submit a request to join the group. Just remember to answer the 3 screening questions you'll be presented with. If you don't, your request to join may be declined. So that's a wrap for this edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Look for episode 197 in mid-October when we bring you more exciting youth bowling action from Gladstone, Missouri. But for now, this is Coach Randy reminding you to stay behind the foul line. Keep kicking out the corner pins, not the foul lights and ball returns. And I'll talk to you next time on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Now, go get your bowl on.